don't you wanna go? Come on, oh baby, don't you wanna go back to that same old place, sweet home, Chicago.
You know, to go back home and see my mom and dad, be some home cooking, have some fun at home. It's gonna be good, and I'm looking forward to it. Like, we get home on Friday, we play on Saturday night, so we got to go in there and do our job, and you know, we got to drill them.
It's a cold, rainy night here in Chicago. The Heat's only visit to the Windy City this year. Yes, the same great town, the same big, beautiful building, but a much different team plays inside the United Center. 6 times in the last 8 years, they were the world champion Chicago Bulls. Now, well, they're the unrecognized Bulls. 10 wins, 25 losses, and the Heat come in all fired up with 3 straight wins. And Tim Hardaway, a native, Carver High School here in the city of Chicago, brings his Heat team home. A focus group tonight as the Heat look for a 4th straight win. And glad you're with us, everyone. Good evening. I'm Eric Reed, along with Dr. Jack Ramsey. And Coach, in the 3 straight wins, better rebounding, better taking care of the basketball, far fewer turnovers, Jack, and a return to Heat-like defense.
Well, I think the turnovers are probably the most critical item here, Eric, because it impacts upon the rest of your game so much. The Heat defense will be there every night, but when you take care of the ball, score in the paint like that, and have that differential in turnovers, you're bound to have success. The Heat just needs consistent opportunities to score, and then everything else falls in place, because, as I say, the defense is there every night.
Jack, we sometimes call P.J. Brown the quiet storm or the reluctant shooter, but call him what you like. Call this his best offensive season. Sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle, Jack, but he is in a great offensive groove.
Well, P.J. has become almost automatic in scoring with the face-the-basket jump shot or little plays in the basket area, sometimes off the dribble. That has been a big factor for P.J. He's gotten passes from Zoe when the defense has double-teamed him, and the numbers speak for themselves. Points per game are higher. The field goal percentage has risen. The rebounds stay about the same, and I think Coach Riley would like to see a little more rebounding from P.J., but when you factor in his defensive presence every night, he, in my opinion, is the best big man help defender in basketball.
And P.J. Brown and Alonzo Mourning, a great defensive duo. You know, they're also tied for 8th in the NBA at 50% shooting. Now, Jack, the Bulls, a shell of what they used to be. 5 players back from their championship squad a year ago. The most recognizable, Tony Kukoc, but his presence hasn't seemed to matter a whole bunch.
Now, Kukoc is doing everything that can be expected, Eric, but the results are just mystifying to those who are strong Bulls followers. But you must have players in the NBA, and the 3 main guys, of course, Michael Jordan, Pippen, and Dennis Rodman, are elsewhere, and the team is seeing the results of their presence and lack of it. But the lowest percentage team in Bulls history is what the fans are faced with right now, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But they had a great run. They won 6 championships in 8 years, and at some point you have to have that streak come to an end, and you have to start rebuilding, and that's where the Bulls are right now.
Well, the Bulls and Heat meeting for the first time this year, the first of 3 meetings in the next 3 weeks. Tony Kukoc in Chicago, Zoe and the Heat will tip it off next on Sunshine.
Celebrating their expansion victory, excited fans watched as mascot Coco the Palm cut the ceremonial ribbon to open the brand new La Quinta Inn and Suites.
I'd just like to say this is the realization of a lot of people's dreams. This is a great town. We're proud to be a part of it. We're going to make a lot of very weary travelers happy. Coco!
Apparently, we've just learned that Coco has resigned under pressure from management. What a tragedy, but at least I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
If you're looking for a fun ride, one that offers all-out versatility or good times to go, then you can't afford not to drive a Ford Ranger. Right now, you can get an amazing $1,000 cash back or lease a '99 Ranger XLT for just $165 a month with aluminum wheels, AC, and more. South Florida's best-selling compact pickup, the '99 Ford Ranger, just $165 a month at your South Florida Ford dealer today.
Can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Can you feel the heat? The intensity is rising as the competition heats up. Get ready, Miami, for the effects of a heat wave.
So, do you believe that one? Right away, my kid, oh my. Thunder down, right on the money.
The Bucks and the Heat coverage begins Sunday night at 7:30 on Sunshine.
Can you feel the heat down in your soul? Can you feel the heat down in your soul? Can you feel the heat down in your soul? I feel the heat down in my soul.
I got $1 buying me a newspaper and $1 going into an annuity. And the annuity is helping a company in South America build a gas pipeline over the mountains so people in Chile can have clean air and hot showers. And the pipeline's going to help the economy. And that's going to help my dollar. So when it finally comes back to me, it might be more like $4. And I might be more like looking at the real estate section.
From the United Center in Chicago, it's the Miami Heat on Sunshine Network, brought to you tonight by Discover Card. A cashback bonus with every single thing you buy. Discover the feeling. It pays. By Gatorade. Is it in you? By the South Florida Chevy dealers who give you the bad to the bone S10 and the award-winning Chevy Malibu. And by Southwest Airlines with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. You know, 21,711 have chosen the United Center to come to tonight as you look at Pat Riley, the Heat head coach, who is now also the 4th winningest coach in NBA history. And on tonight's edition of Coach's Corner, Pat talks about the remaining 17 games left of the regular season. It makes for an urgent month of April.
Well, it is. You know, that's the way it is when you're fighting for position and going down the stretch. And we got a short 17 games, a short 3 weeks. You know, we got 17 games. They've played 5 more than us. Most of those are in the win column, so they've already registered them. You know, our objective is to continue to try to win as many games as we can. You know, hope that somewhere along the way they have 2 more games at Indiana, so they got a little bit of a tough road there. But win as many games as we can win and hope that we have the very, very best position in the Eastern Conference or in the NBA, and then let's get on with the playoffs.
Pat Riley on the Eastern Conference race, which the Heat are currently 3rd place in. Tied percentage-wise with Indiana, but 2 fewer wins, 1 fewer loss. The Heat have only 1 more loss than the Magic, but 6 fewer wins as we look at our Southwest Airlines starting matchups. And Jack, the battle of most interest, I would think, right there at the top. Jamal Mashburn against the Bulls. Most prolific player on their roster right now. He's their go-to man, Tony Kukoc.
Yeah, and a matchup that favors both guys in some respects. Kukoc, taller, longer, can operate from the post very well, and Mashburn, surprisingly effective. I can remember matchups against Kukoc where Mash just burned him down low with quick moves to the basket. Be interesting to see how each coach reacts to the matchup. Will there be double teaming or will they stay straight up?
And Ron Harper back after 10 games on the injured list with a hyperextended knee. Brent Barry, former Heat player, is on the injured list for the Bulls. Jack, your keys to a Heat win.
All right, Eric. First of all, take no opponent for granted. With this team, rope them, tie them down, and get rid of them. Take nothing for granted with these Chicago Bulls. If you allow them, they can beat you. Next thing is, Handcuff Kukoc. Tony Kukoc leads the team in scoring, rebounds, and assists. He's their main man. Put the handcuffs on Tony and keep him there all night. Primarily Mash's responsibility, but everybody has a role in that in the team defense that Coach Riley uses so well. And then, again, you must knock down the perimeter shots. The Bulls will double team Alonzo at the post, probably Mashburn as well. So that puts a premium on knocking down your perimeter shot and also for Tim Hardaway to get some good penetrations.
As you look at the all-time numbers between the Heat and the Chicago Bulls, Miami 3-16 here in lifetime in the regular season. Last win in this building came December the 7th, 96, a three-point victory on Dan Marley's three-point game winner. The Heat won twice in Chicago back in the 93-94 season, the year that Michael Jordan did not play. But I think when Heat fans think back to the Miami-Chicago series, they think of the three playoff series these teams have played against one another. Miami has won only one and lost 10 games in those series. And the most memorable, of course, the 97 Eastern Conference Finals, when the Heat fell in 5 games. They were swept in both the first round in 96 and the first round in 92 against Chicago. But a new wave of Bulls. The era of their dominance is done, and the Heat hoping they can be the team without the Bulls in their way to make it out of the East and compete in the NBA Finals. Well, we mentioned Brent Barry, who played in just 17 games for the Heat last year. He will not play tonight. He went on the injured list yesterday. With more on Brent's situation, let's go to our courtside colleague, Dave Lamont.
Well, Eric, the injury is a familiar one. You remember when Brent Barry came to Miami last year, he had a bad ankle. That's what he's got tonight. Ron Harper is taking his place on the roster, but this has been a rough year in Chicago. Not only did Brent Barry get hurt the other night, the mascot got hurt. The Bull got hurt. Now, Brent Barry is out, but I noticed tonight the Bull is back playing with the pain. The mascot, at least in uniform tonight for Chicago. So there is some hope for this team, although I don't think that's going to affect the Heat one bit.
Yeah, I'm sure the Heat would have enjoyed playing against Brent Barry, a man they traded for a year ago. Brent will not be able to play in Tuesday's game at Miami either. He's on the injured list for at least the next 5. At Riley's Heat at 22-11. They are 10-7 on the road, and the Heat come into this game with their number 2 ranking in both important defensive categories, points allowed and field goal percentage allowed. And it has been a baptism under fire for Tim Floyd, his first year as an NBA head coach after a very successful stint on the college ranks. And Tim takes his team into battle 10 up and 25 down. They're tied with New Jersey for the worst record in the East and the 3rd worst record in the NBA. Only the Clippers and the Grizzlies have lost more than the Bulls. Our officiating crew tonight, Ronnie Nunn, Ken Maurer, and Mark Davis. And one thing you must respect about the Bulls, Jack, the defense of their backcourt. Ron Harper and Randy Brown, they present a tough defensive front as you cross half court.
Oh, and I'm interested to see who will defend Tim Hardaway. And it's going to be Randy Brown to start with. Because Harper also does a great job on Tim.
Yes, he does. Randy Brown happens to be a native of Chicago as well. So, nice flip. PJ had it stripped by Mark Bryant, but Randy Brown was on the end line. 2 players
by Alonzo Mourning. No double team that time. PJ just beat his man on a straight cut.
10 seconds left on the shot clock for the Heat. First possession of the game. Where's Jamal Mashburn's had some of his greatest games in the NBA against Chicago. That includes a 50-point game back in the 94 season against Pippen and the Bulls. So on the hook, and it trickles off to Dickie Simpkins. Dickie Simpkins, the 6-year veteran out of Providence. He and Mark Bryant both enjoying career years. Brown denied by Zoe. The league's best shot blocker got a piece. Timmy on the pull-up. And Simpkins brings it down. The Heat have missed their first 2 shots. Tim Hardaway vowing this week that he's going to run this team more, get some more fast breaks going, and look to shoot a little bit less. Kukoc against Mash, tough shot. And Marley gets it off the Mark Bryant deflection. Minute in, we're scoreless. One-on-one, Zoe against Simpkins. Zoe takes him baseline and misses the reverse.
Had a good look at that one. Surprisingly, the Bulls are letting Zoe go one-on-one against Dickie Simpkins. That should be a match favored to Zoe, and he's had good looks.
Simpkins unable to handle the pass, but Ron Harper recovers it with a shot clock at 8. Simpkins, another great job of taking away a shot by Zoe. Now we're still scoreless, almost 2 minutes in. Timmy from the top. And the Heat have missed their first 4 shots. The Bulls are 0 for 3. Randy Brown coming back recently from a sprained ankle. This is Kukoc leaning back in the low post. And Tony Kukoc fouled by Jamal Mashburn. Kukoc 21st in the league in scoring, 20th in the league in field goal attempts. Tony launching just over 17 shots a game.
Not shooting a very good percentage, Eric, just above 40%.
Ron Harper tries a 3, and we have had nothing close to a basket yet tonight here at the United Center. Both teams are 0 for 4. 9:45 left first quarter. Nash in the post. What a spin by Harper, who deflected it away from behind.
Great hands by Ron Harper. Popped that ball loose as Nash seemed to have a layup.
Earlier in his career, Harper with the Cavaliers and Clippers noted for his offense. Here in Chicago, he's had a defensive renaissance. Simpkins. PJ made him pass it instead of shoot it. Bryant on the miss. Brown with a rebound. So the Bulls are 0 for 5. And the Heat looking for their first points on this trip. We're 3 minutes in. Nice pass back to PJ. Book it. PJ Brown rattles down the jumper. So PJ gets the Heat on the board first. 3 minutes in.
And another face the basket jump shot off screen and roll with Tim Hardaway. PJ has made that almost automatic.
Kukoc back to Simpkins. Tony Kukoc getting lots of early touches. Bryant, nice catch. Look at the defense come to him. And the Heat force yet another miss. The Bulls are 0 for 6 and counting. Thunder Dan hoists a triple. And Ron Harper on the rebound. So poor shooting here in the first quarter for both teams.
But a lot of perimeter shots, Eric. I think the Heat can get to the basket against this team.
Ron Harper taking it to the goal on Zoe. Zoe takes his first foul, the second team foul on the Heat.
Let's go watch PJ Brown on this little screen and roll. PJ flares. Hardaway with the nice bounce pass. PJ with the face-up jumper from about 12 feet.
Now PJ with the 2 points. Zoe and Mash each with a foul. Ron Harper averaging 10 points a game this year, but shooting the worst percentage from the field of his career at 36%. For his career, Jackie's a 45% shooter.
Yeah, Harp has been plagued with injury, and he hasn't really shot the ball well in recent years.
Harper missing both. The Bulls not a good foul shooting team at 71%. Bulls rank last in the NBA in scoring. They're the only team averaging under 85 points a game.
Great position, Zoe.
Down they go. Zoe with a mean-looking stuff to get himself on the scoreboard. The Heat leading it 4-0. Both PJ and Zoe shooting 50% from the field. They are each tied for 8th in the NBA in field goal percentage.
Good back pick by Mashburn to set Zoe up for that catch in the lane.
Just over 4 minutes played here in Chicago, where the Bulls have lost 12 of their 18 home games. Shot clock winding down. Kukoc leaning in, and Hardaway looking to run. Bulls are 0 for 7. Thunder Dan, a wide open long jumper that rebounds long to Randy Brown. Dickie Simpkins comes middle. Kukoc fires. And the Bulls are 0 for 8 if you're keeping track. Mash ahead of the field off a nice Up court pass, and Mash gets on the board. It's 6-0 Miami.
Well, the Heat can get fast breaks, they can get penetrations, and they can get low post scores.
Just under 7 minutes to go in the first. The Bulls struggling on the offensive end. Bryant missing the short hook. That's 0 for 9 to start the game. Timmy on the launch and knocked down. Tim Hardaway has gotten the Heat out to an 8-0 head start. And 4 different Heat players have already scored. Well, business-like looks on the faces of all 5 Heat starters. Getting it done with balanced offense and tenacious defense. The Bulls are still searching for their first score.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up! Thank you, Detroit! We love you!
Detroit was last night.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines coast to coast for $99 or less when you purchase tickets by April 27th.
You are now free to move about the country.
It is not whether you fall down. It is whether you get back up.
It is not the size of the dog in the fight. It is the size of the fight in the dog.
It's not how hard you push along the way. It's having something in you to finish.
With a 300 horsepower V8 and Formula One inspired E-Shift, driving the Lexus GS400 is always fun and games.
New record. Good race.
To continue play, see your South Florida Lexus dealer.
8-0 Miami here in Chicago. Let's take a look at tonight's Lexus League leaders, brought to you, of course, by Lexus, the firm of Mourning and Hardaway, ranking 4th in combined minutes per game. Juwan Howard and Mitch Richmond on the leaderboard in minutes played. Well, Jack, moment ago, the Heat revving up their fast break.
Yeah, now watch how quickly Tim Hardaway, after receiving that pass from Alonzo Mourning, hits ahead. Nobody does it better than Tim Hardaway. Right on the money. The pass from Mourning hardly touching his hands.
Well, the Bulls are 0 for 9 with their shooting. Miami off to an 8-0 lead with 6:20 left in the first, and Zoe blocks another shot.
Heat defense has been suffocating to this point.
Hardaway missing the short hook, getting it back and recycling the offense. Well, it's been mighty defense so far in the first quarter for the Heat. Halfway through the period, the Bulls have been shut out on 0 for 10 shooting. And Zoe already has 3 block shots. Hardaway on the post. He loves it down there. Land to the big men. The pitch out to Mash. With 3 to shoot, a splashdown for Jamal Mashburn, and a 10-0 lead for Miami.
Now the Heat used almost all of the 24-second clock that time. They've got a good open look for Mash.
Good start for Mash, 2 for 2 shooting, the 4 points and the 3 rebounds. And you see the horrid numbers for Chicago. Harper with an air ball from 3-point land. Miami ball.
That's 2 air balls by Ron Harper tonight.
Remember, he's coming back for the first time in the last 11 games. He missed 10 with a hyperextended knee. The Bulls' defensive numbers really suffered without Harper in their lineup. Remember, the Bulls, the lowest scoring team in the league, next to last in field goal percentage. So, the reverse stuff off the nice lob from P.J. Brown.
That's great play between the 2 big guys. Zoe not able to stuff that on the catch. Collected himself on the recovery with both feet on the floor and then threw it down hard.
Kukoc, no. Mash with a rebound on the Heat, keeping their foot firmly on the pedal. The Bulls are 0 for 12, gang. The Heat lead it 12-0. 4:48 left first quarter.
Mismatch. Hardaway
drives by Kukoc, finds Thunder Dan. On the drive, swings it out. Hardaway, 4-3. Kaboom! Tim Hardaway makes it a 15-0 lead for Miami. And for Hardaway, it's triple number 83. Hardaway second in the league behind D. Brown in three-pointers. He's 8 triples behind D. Brown. Mark Bryant on the hook, came up short, but a foul, and this will go against P.J. Brown. The first on P.J., the third team foul on the Heat.
Mark Bryant may have dislocated his shoulder.
He has had shoulder problems this year.
Wow, that's a great play between P.J. and Zoe.
A couple of games ago, Mark Bryant suffered a deep bruise to that shoulder and was able to play through it. Bryant, the 11-year veteran out of Seton Hall, 7 years with Portland, a year with Houston, and 2 with Phoenix. This is his first season with Chicago, and he has had his best season, averaging just under 10 points, shooting 53%. And the Bulls take a timeout to tend to Mark Bryant's injured shoulder. 15-0 Miami, 4:15 left in the first quarter.
Nextel digital phones have built-in two-way radios.
Heads up.
They come in handy.
Nextel's MVP rate plan starting as low as $70.
Have one of your best days because of one of ours. Sears Days, where all cargo pants and shorts are on sale. Don't miss it.
Please kiss me, croaked the frog. And then the princess kissed the frog, and he suddenly turned into Charles Barkley.
Daddy!
Okay. You caught me. The frog turned into a handsome prince. I love reading with my kids. We all enjoy it. Reading builds a solid foundation for their future. Okay, who wants to read the next one?
Daddy, Charles must have been a really big frog.
The creators of South Park invented a new game. Basketball. Took it to the big time. Inspired a nation.
I'm the king of the world!
Embraced their fans.
What an unfortunate thing to happen on Dozen Egg Night.
Found true love.
That's a guy.
Discovered the meaning of life.
Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year.
But never forgot the little people.
Heads up, big guy.
Needs a little work on the hands.
He's blind, Doug.
Basketball.
This month on DirecTV.
Heat pitching a shutout so far in the first period, that time remaining. Let's watch Mark Bryant, who comes across the lane. He's trying to throw a right-hand hook shot. Doesn't get the shot to go, but may have thrown out his left shoulder in the process. May have suffered a slight shoulder separation because his arm went right to his side as soon as that happened. That's just one of those freak injuries, but let's see.
Well, the Bulls are
on the floor.
subbing Cornell David for Bryant. Now Bryant says, I might be able to still go. On the floor for the Bulls already is Keith Booth, the second-year man from Maryland, who was their first-round pick a year ago. And Mark Bryant, here's Booth, the former Maryland Terp, who hardly played as a rookie, just 17 minutes in 6 games. And if Bryant, little commendation for his courage. Jack, the Bulls in their history once went through a first quarter without a field goal against the Kansas City Kings many moons ago. They don't have a field goal yet, and that's their first point.
It's a rousing reception from the fans. Now there's loyalty. Now they want to get Bryant out of the game, so Randy Brown took the foul on Tim Hardaway.
And this way they can bring Bryant back in later on.
Right, if he's able. I'm not sure he's going to be able, Eric.
Cornell David into the game. He is a rookie from Hungary, the first Hungarian player to ever compete in the NBA. We'll tell you more about his interesting story as the night progresses. Heat lead at 15-1. 4:05 left first quarter.
Just saw the Bulls in a little half-court trap, which they will use from occasion.
Zoe against Simpkins. 5 on the shot clock. Comes baseline, and Simpkins knocked it away. Jack, all the years of frustration for Zoe, a couple of playoff series against the Bulls, and he learned from the way the Bulls defended him, taking away middle. I think that was the origin of Zoe diversifying his offense.
Heat need a quick one.
Hardaway missing the triple. Mash there for the offensive rebound. And a fresh 24 for Miami. Mash squeezing it up from the paint. He'll get a couple of free throws.
Mash wasting no time and taking it right at Cornell David, the Hungarian player who says, I like the soup here in the United States. One of the few things he's been able to adjust to. He also likes Mexican food. I guess Hungarian goulash is not on the menu of many places.
Now, fans want to secure your seat at the Miami Heat's new state-of-the-art American Airlines Arena. Well, the Heat are accepting deposits for next season for only $100 a seat. You get a priority number to select your seats and have the chance to purchase tickets for this year's playoffs. Heat sales managers standing by right now. Give them a ring at 305-577-4328. Now, Randy Brown's miss just adds to the pile. 0 for 13 for Chicago. Mash from the paint.
Oh, that's terrific. And again, that starts with a Tim Hardaway hit-ahead pass.
Jamal Mashburn with 8 points. The Heat lead it 19-1. The Bulls don't have a field goal yet. They're 0 for 13. Keith Booth driving on Thunder Dam. Look at the help! Look at the block! The fourth block of the first quarter by Zoe. Oh, there's their first field goal. Dickey Simpkins. It comes with 2:55 left in the first quarter. And they had to work for it.
Oh, Mash wide open on the cut.
Working against Cornell David, who got a hand in there and picks up the foul.
Let's go back and watch Tim Hardaway hit ahead to Jamal Mashburn. Right wing, Mash runs the floor, takes it back into the middle, and gets this open jump shot right in the paint.
Now for Jamal Mashburn, tonight his 6th game back with the Heat since the injury. Mash averaging 13 points, 6 rebounds, shooting just 41% since coming back, working on his inside game tonight. And coming up with huge dividends here in the first quarter. He has 10 first quarter points, and he's done it on perfect shooting. 3 of 3 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line, and Jack Jamal also with 5 rebounds.
Well, it's come a little more slowly than Mash would have hoped for. But he said to me after one game last week, next week I'll be better than this one.
That's all about getting ready for playoff time. Keith Booth. Baseline pop taken down by Dan Marley. Chicago is 1 for 17. Hardaway's behind the back pass. Not deflected, goes out of bounds. The Heat churning it over for the 3rd time here in the first quarter. Hardaway already has 4 assists. That was his first turnover.
The Bulls hit that ball.
2 minutes left, first quarter. Heat leading it 21-3. Sounds like a football score. Booth. Ouch. All the offense for Chicago, like sitting in a dentist chair. You don't know when the pain's going to come, but it gets there. The Bulls are 1 for 18.
Credit. Oh, there's a good look.
Kukoc rolling it in off the inbounds. That's Tony's first score. Took him 6 shots to get it.
Well executed play by the Bulls that time.
Nash's miss taken down by Dickey Simpkins. Minute 30 left first quarter. This is Cornell David launching. And Tim Hardaway off and running. The hit ahead for Mash. And Randy Brown with a beautiful steal. Peter back. Simpkins. He got it. He rolled it in. His second field goal. And the lead is 14. 21-7 Miami with just over a minute to go in this first quarter. Tim Hardaway, Jack, playing at home, playing well tonight. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists here in the first quarter. Randy Brown picks up his first, 4th team foul, first in the last 2 minutes. So a side out of bounds and a fresh 24 for Miami.
Timmy loves to come back to Chicago. Oh, that's well executed.
Mash in the post. Oh, 2 more for Jamal Mashburn. A 12-point first quarter for Mash.
Well, Mash has had some pretty easy pickings. He started with Tony Kukoc defending him, and now he has Cornell David. Neither guy noted for their defensive prowess.
Dan Marley on the rebound. Marley's been active on the board recently. He's got 4 rebounds in the first quarter. He's averaging 7 rebounds over the last 3 games. Heat leading it 23-7, winding down here in the first. Zoe turns on Simpkins, and he will go to the foul line. Keith Booth coming over to help, picks up the foul. So Booth has his second personal foul. Zoe will go to the line for the first time tonight. Alonzo's 6th in the NBA in free throw attempts. A little more than 9 a game. These will be his first 2. Now, the other night, the Heat broadcasters had a wonderful dinner with the great folks from the Manchester Equipment Company, who supply us with our Compaq Armada laptop computer. Compaq in Manchester. Now we know why they're such a winning combination. So regards to our friends at the Manchester Equipment Company. What a great group. Terry Porter in for Miami. Tim Hardaway to the bench. Porter's had the hot hand. You know, right now, he's the 4th best three-point shooter in the NBA, trailing only Del Curry, Chris Childs, and Judd Buechler with his three-point percentage of 45%.
Three-point accuracy comes and goes. But right now, Porter is running the crest of the wave.
That's a shame for Miami. P.J. Brown picking up the loose ball foul. He gets his second foul with only 16 seconds left in the first quarter. Jack, interesting. Pat Riley again monitoring closely the minutes that Tim Hardaway plays. Good time to take your player out now. He gets the final 20 seconds or so and the entire break between quarters to rest up.
Yeah, and this is really a little longer than the coach has played Timmy in recent games. He usually takes him out with about 4 minutes to go in the first period.
P.J. Brown sits down with the 2 fouls. Keith Askins into the game. Keith now only 2 games away from tying Glenn Rice for the all-time franchise lead in games played as a Heat player. Boom! Aggressive take by the Hungarian Cornell David. And the foul on Mash, but watch this guy who they called the Michael Jordan of Hungary.
This is a strong, strong move. A 2-hand stuff attempt by Cornell David.
Jamal Mashburn picks up his second foul.
But the Michael Jordan of anywhere, he is not.
Well, his wife and child are still back in Hungary, but he helped his nation qualify for this summer's European Championships for the first time in 30 years. Didn't play basketball till he was 17 years old. Was a soccer player. And Cornell David breaking it up as the first quarter comes to a close. Well, Jamal Mashburn, once upon a time ago, pasted 50 on Chicago, 50 points in November of '94. Through one quarter tonight, Mash up to old ways with a dozen, and the Heat leading it 23-8 as we go to the second.
Sit down, kid. To make it here at OmniPoint, remember this. With custom-tailored wireless, the customers get what they want. Now repeat after me. They can get any phone.
They can get any phone.
Get any minute plan.
Get any minute plan.
Get free features.
Get free features.
Very good. Here's a cracker.
Get an Ericsson Digital PCS phone for just $49.
Well, the South loves trucks, that's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South. Ram-a-lemma.
Dodge Rams are overall America's most powerful line of full-size pickups, the longest lasting. And Ram Quad Cabs were the first to offer 4 doors. Just imagine the possibilities that opens up.
The truck stop of the New South. Ram-a-lemma. The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from ferocious odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far's the female?
A good 70 yards, mate.
I've made longer passes than that before. Right guard, clear gel, and clear stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
We play your game on Sunshine Network.
We hope you're enjoying the Miami Heat on Sunshine Network tonight, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Lincoln Mercury, what a luxury car should be. By your South Florida Lexus dealers, who invite you to test drive a Lexus today. By CNI Web, rock solid internet solutions. By your South Florida Dodge dealers, proud sponsors of the Miami Heat. Our friends at Gillette Mach 3, the first triple blade razor. And by the South Florida Ford dealers, they'll show you why you can't afford not to drive a Ford. With Dave Lamont and Dr. Jack Ramsey, I'm Eric Reed. Welcome back to Chicago, where the Heat lead at 23-8 after one quarter. The Bulls made only 3 of their 22 shots, 14%. The Heat at 50% and an 8-rebound advantage. Now the Bulls' lowest point total ever in a quarter back in the '93 season, 6 against Miami, and they do 2 better than that tonight in the first. Rusty LaRue and Wake Forest firing up the brick. Clarence Weatherspoon reels in the rebound. He'd start Marley, Porter, Spoon, Zoe, and Askins here in the second quarter.
Heat are getting players open with just about every cut.
Clarence Weatherspoon against Cornell David. The up fake and the bucket.
And the long arms. Clarence Weatherspoon. Cornell David doesn't see as many of those long arms in his European competition.
Kukoc cannot roll it home. Weatherspoon with a rebound. What tenacious defense. Wennington had it, but Zoe took it right back from him. A minute into the second quarter, the Bulls with only 3 field goals, and Miami doubling Chicago's effort on the glass. Porter swings it out to Keith. Marley slipping in. And Bill Wennington, the veteran out of St. John's, on the rebound and outlet. Wennington now in his 12th NBA season. He lead by a count of 25-8. Kukoc, no. 3 for 25 for the Bulls, and Kukoc has missed 7 of 8. Porter, oh, and a blur. Oh, he missed the layup. Right back to Zoe, it bounces, and a fresh shot clock for the Heat. Zoe by Wennington, who commits the foul. And right now, the Bulls are being besieged by Miami's effort and talent.
Tony Kukoc has not had a good look at the basket yet. Everything that he shoots is under strong duress. Heat defense has been superb in this game. And the triangle offense, Eric, the Bulls have not run it through very much. They've taken a lot of transition shots. But the triangle offense is a type of game that produces mostly jump shots. And if you can't knock down the jump shot, you're not going to make many points.
Slowly, Jack, very slowly, I think they here in Chicago are beginning to understand it wasn't the offense. It was the players, especially that one man, that made their offense.
The one guy, and he had the ability, when the offense wasn't producing shots, to create his own.
27-8 Heat. Ron Harper leaning in, another tough shot. That one drops for Harper. So Harper gets his first score, and the Bulls are down by 17. .940 left here in the second quarter. Porter, there's that up fake, wide open look. Kaboom!
And that came out of a nice curl on the weak side. Terry Porter came off a double screen that time before his pump fake.
29-10 Miami by 19 for the second time tonight.
Keith Askins now working on Kukoc.
Foul is on Keith Askins, and we get a timeout here at the United Center. Terry Porter getting his first field goal, and much mileage off the pump fake.
Guess what? Susie Fetterman got sick, so I don't have to be the dumb dinosaur. I get to be the peacock.
Great. Peacock.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines for only $59 to Baltimore, Washington when you purchase tickets by April 27th and travel by June 3rd.
You are now free to move about the country.
Your days of pushing me around are through. I got a better offer, and I'm grabbing it. They even offered me a bonus. Can you even say that? Bonus. Bonus. Knock, knock. Who's there? A bonus.
Expect more from your credit card. With Discover Platinum, you get a low rate and new double cashback bonus awards. It pays to Discover Platinum.
Hello, bonus. Speaking.
Amor, my love. Amor, make life divine. Say you'll be mine and love me only. Amor,
Well, Miami trying to throw one knockout punch after another here in the first half. So far, so good. The Bulls have made only 4 of their 26 shots. Well, right on time. Who's hot, who's not? Brought to you by Gatorade. Is it too late to put the Bulls on the who's not list? How about the buzzer beaters last night? Lindsey Hunter sending the Pacers to their 5th one-point loss. Karl Malone fouled from three-point land with 0.6 of a second left by Cliff Robinson. Incidentally, Malone does not have a three-point field goal this year, but it's the second time he's been fouled in that situation. And Gary Payton of the Sonics struggled in their loss to the Grizzlies a night or two ago.
And that was a Grizzly affair.
Let's go courtside to Dave Lamont with a Mark Bryant update.
Eric, he suffered a stinger to his left shoulder in that first quarter. A little bit of mysterious exactly when it happened. They're going to take a look at him at halftime, but the Bulls do expect him to return for the second half.
Thanks, Dave. Here's Wennington around the screen, and more bricks. And Weatherspoon on the pickup. Here comes the gang in red. Hardaway picked up by Rusty LaRue, a likable young man out of Wake Forest. Their first 3-sport star ever. LaRue playing football. He was a quarterback, basketball, and baseball. Spoon in the post. Called for an offensive foul. That's the first tonight on Clarence Weatherspoon. And there's Rusty LaRue, a relief pitcher in baseball, a quarterback in football, and an academic All-American. He is a hero in his hometown of Greensboro, North Carolina. On the other end, Dickie Simpkins was fouled on the catch, and Clarence Weatherspoon picks up a quick second personal foul. B.J. Brown at the table, and back into the game. He'll give Zoe a rest. Lonzo goes to the bench with 6 points and 4 block shots.
It's come to be just a walk through the park for Zoe. You come to almost anticipate those magnificent statistics.
And he's averaging just about 4 block shots a game to lead the NBA. PJ on the takeaway. That's the 3rd Chicago turnover this first half. So they have 4 field goals and 3 turnovers. Heat lead by 19. Hardaway against LaRue. Uses the screen from Spoon to launch and hit.
Great screen. Clarence Weatherspoon hung Rusty LaRue up to dry.
7 points for Hardaway. He also has 5 boards and 4 assists. And it's the Heat by 21 now, 31-10.
This defense has been just superb.
Harper got it. Ron Harper with his 2nd field goal of the quarter. Askins. Yes, a long 2 for Keith Askins.
Good transition opportunity for Keith. Watch him work on Kukoc.
Harper against Porter with 7:25 left in the half. That one coming off. Clarence Weatherspoon with both hands on his third rebound. 33-12 Miami. Having their way. Brown throws up the hook. Spoon almost had it. And Wennington able to grab it. Wennington, that's his spot. Bill Wennington, of course, played at St. John's during their glory days with both Chris Mullin and Walter Berry and Mark Jackson. 33-14 Miami. Spoon. And Wennington there with a rebound. This is Wennington's 6th season in Chicago. Cornell David on the turnaround. Good looking shot for David. His first field goal. He has 4 points.
The Heat don't want to relax in this game. They've had a superb beginning to this.
Timmy launching and drilling another. So a 9-point first half for Timmy, and he's done it on 4 for 8 shooting. Miami by 19 with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. LaRue with the range. Rusty LaRue with his first field goal of the game. LaRue played 14 games with Chicago last year, a 2-year veteran of the CBA.
He's a hard-nosed kid, but he's no match for Tim Hardaway.
Hardaway on the step back, and Bill Wennington able to clear it. Miami by 17 points here. Wennington, there's his spot again. And Clarence Weatherspoon, very active stint for Spoon. PJ goes by Wennington. Timmy got the bucket and the foul. And he is perforating the Chicago defense with consistency. 11 points. He'll get a free throw when we come back.
Enjoying every second of
it. So are we.
Heat fans, here's your chance to visit the Big Apple courtesy of Toyota Tacoma. Between March 16th and April 14th, log on to SunshineNetwork.com and vote for the Toyota Tacoma Player of the Game. Register to win a trip to New York to see the Heat play the Knicks on May 5th. Or send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, and the Toyota Tacoma Player of the Game to this address. So watch, vote, and you may win a trip to the Big Apple courtesy of the rugged, powerful Toyota Tacoma. Toyota, the value is real.
No one taught me more about teamwork than my dad. They called him Mr. Mean because he never smiled. He didn't smile when he volunteered to coach the kids in the neighborhood. He didn't smile when he drove the team to every game or when he worked with kids for hours on his own time. He showed me anyone can make a difference if they just get involved. I'll tell you something else about my dad. He's got a great smile. Team up with your community.
Yeah. Kid like you can get anything he wants if he's in the right place. That means bartender.
I named me Shane 54!
In 1 week, I went from $4 an hour to $500 a night. And it's where I met the 3 people who changed my life forever.
Ryan Phillippe, Salma Hayek, with Nev Campbell and Mike Myers. 54.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on DirecTV.
It's Miami by 19, that time remaining in the second period. Let's take a look at Tim Hardaway's play. This is your Discover card. Payback, playback. Hardaway drives across the middle and oxidizes Rusty LaRue, banking that one off the glass. That is your Discover card. Playback, payback. Tim Hardaway in the driver's seat.
And Jack, one thing Timmy has discovered, probably already knew, Rusty LaRue cannot guard him.
No. Tim Hardaway, as you say, Eric, knew that going into this game.
Tim Hardaway with 11 points. He also has 4 assists and 5 rebounds. Jamal Mashburn leading the Heat with 12. For the Bulls, Dickie Simpkins and Ron Harper each have 4. Chicago shooting 24% in the half, 8 of 33. The Heat are at 52% so far tonight.
Well, Rusty LaRue went back to be galvanized, and Charles Jones is on the floor. I expect probably Randy Brown. The Bulls really are hard put to get a defender for Tim Hardaway.
So LaRue goes to the bench. Charles Jones, an interesting young man, a rookie out of Long Island University, who led the nation in scoring 2 years ago at 30 points a game.
This defense,
sensational.
We've seen a lot of great Miami defense, but they're cooking in this one. The defensive system couldn't be working more effectively.
Lonzo Mourning into the game. Hardaway goes to the bench. Dan Marley's back as well. Well, we witnessed just a few days ago the demolition of the Toronto Raptors, the night the Heat held the Raptors to 29% shooting. They're topping that effort here in the first half tonight. Terry Porter down the lane, off to PJ. And Cornell David with the loose ball foul. And that's the second on Cornell David, who's got a good point, Jack. The soup is outstanding in Chicago.
He has, he came here speaking no English whatsoever, and he's made some progress in that regard.
Mash missing. Charles Jones away with a rebound. Jones was not drafted despite averaging better than 29 points a game over his last 2 seasons at Long Island University. Just over 4 minutes left in the first. Again, it's Cornell David with a jump shot. He's got 6 points for Chicago.
He can shoot the ball, Eric. Most big Europeans have pretty good touch in the shot. Kukoc among others.
So banging with Dickie Simpkins. Nice pass into PJ, who trickles it in softly. PJ Brown's second field goal. And Jack, the chemistry between the Heat's 2 big men, always good, but getting better.
Getting better with each game, Eric. Look at this help.
I think so just frightened Tony Kukoc into that miss. Kukoc has missed 8 of his 9 shots tonight.
And you can be sure that he was a defensive target for Coach Riley.
Heat leading by 20, 40-20 Miami here in Chicago. 4 to shoot. PJ on the turn. That was a tough shot. Good defense by Kukoc. And here comes Randy Brown. Cornell David. And here comes Dan Marley. PJ right to the rim with a left hand. And Kukoc there with a rebound. Under 3 minutes left in the half. Randy Brown. And a loose ball foul, this one against the Heat. And it's on Dan Marley. First on Dan Marley, but the great defense continues here in Chicago for the Heat, holding the Bulls to 24% first half shooting.
Nextel digital phones have built-in two-way radios.
Heads up!
They come in handy.
Nextel's MVP rate plan, starting as low as $70.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Had enough?
Let's go.
Anything you can be, I can be greater.
Ready to stop?
Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
I'm not stopping.
Yes, I
I'm not
am.
stopping.
I'm not stopping.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
What's black and white and the best performer in its class? Toyota 4Runner. It gave the best performance in its class for the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. And with high ground clearance, V6 power, and 5,000-pound standard towing capacity, it really is a tough act to follow. Toyota 4Runner. The value is real. Right now, get a real value on 4Runner with up to $900 in option package savings.
Have one of your best days because of one of ours. Sears Days, where all cargo pants and shorts are on sale. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to the United Center, where the Heat lead by 20. Oh, even a rough night for the Chicago mascot. Somebody put the training wheels back on. And while they tend to him, let's take a look at the Dodge shot chart. And Jack, it has been awfully blue for the Bulls here in the first half.
But only one score in the paint, Eric. When you score only once in the paint and the first half is almost completed, you're in deep trouble. And that's where the Bulls find themselves. 9 for 28.
Glad you are with us tonight here in Chicago. The Heat back at home tomorrow night. Note the late start time for the Heat Milwaukee Bucks. An 8 p.m. start at the arena. 7:30 the pregame here on Sunshine Network. This is Charles Jones with 2:38 left in the first half. Dickie Simpkins. Zoe got a piece. Harper with a loose ball. Zoe may have deflected that one as well. And Hardaway comes away with it. That gives Zoe another block shot. He has 5 in the first half. Heat's biggest lead of the game has been 21. They can top that with a score here. How about that?
Oh my.
A rim-rattling dunk for Zoe off the dribble, and nobody there to protect the basket area for Chicago.
Strong move, Alonzo Mourning.
And the biggest lead of the first half for Miami. That was on Jamal Mashburn.
Go back and look at this one. Alonzo Mourning facing up, left-hand drive, two-hand
So tonight with 8 points. Nash comes out of the game with his 3rd foul. Too bad for Jamal after the 12-point, 5-rebound first quarter. Heat by 22. Harper over Marley. No, sir. Another air ball. That's his 3rd air ball tonight. Marley swings it out.
Great ball movement.
This is Porter, the open spot up. And the rebound down to Dickie Simpkins. If you're just joining us, the Heat scored the first 15 points tonight. The Bulls missed their first 13 shots as the Heat ran off to a 19-1 lead in this game. And they have not taken their foot off the gas pedal yet. And on the drive by Dickie Simpkins, the Miami foul is on P.J. Brown. Now, if this was a closer game, foul trouble would be a little bit more concerned. P.J. just picked up his 3rd foul. Mash already has 3 fouls.
Miami's over the limit.
Heat are over the limit. Dickie Simpkins will shoot a couple of free throws. Dickie Simpkins was a graphic design major at Providence College. Only Providence did not have that as a academic course, so they sent him over to the Rhode Island Institute of Design, and Simpkins got it done. The Heat's next 2 road rallies are set. You can join the Heat dancers, Bernie and the Extreme Team, Friday, April 16th at the Ugly Tuna on the Las Olas Riverfront, and again Thursday, April 22nd at the Hooligans Pub in Dadeland. Cheer on the Heat when they're on the road. Call 305-577-HEAT for details on these and other Heat Bacardi Limon road rallies. 21-point Miami lead. Under a minute left in this first half. Hardaway an open triple. And the long rebound captured by Ron Harper. Randy Brown. This is Charles Jones. His triple bouncing off the top of the board. Only one 3-pointer in this game tonight. That came from Tim Hardaway and extended Miami's NBA record-setting streak to a 409th consecutive game with at least one from downtown. How about the defense, though? 21 points for the Bulls in a half.
It's been just suffocating.
Now for the Bulls, their least amount of points ever in a half is 24. Kukoc for 3. Harper got the bucket. Ron Harper on the putback. He has all 6 of his points here in the second quarter. Heat by 19. 5 seconds left in the half. And Ronnie Nunn calling the whistle. The foul is on Randy Brown. Keith Askins wasn't happy with it because he had a terrific pass to a wide open Terry Porter. Instead, Brown gets his second personal. And the Heat will take a 20-second timeout with just under 5 seconds left in this first half.
Let's see what Coach Riley can come up with for a 4.8 kind of shot out of this. He usually comes up with something special.
Jack, as Pat plots his strategy, the Heat record for lowest opponent point total in a half, 25 against the Bulls in the November game in '93 when they held the Bulls to 6 points in 1 quarter. But the Bulls' fewest points ever in a half, 24, and they are 1 under that. So Tim Floyd and his Bulls suffering another demoralizing half of action. Now, coming up just a few seconds from now, your halftime with Dave Lamont. He'll catch you up to date on all the NBA scores and the Heat Beat segment. Plus, we'll look back on the highlights of this Heat-dominated first half. And how's that for a finish? So turning into Captain Hook.
Oh my!
Plus the foul.
Talk about execution right out of the playbook. Pat Riley has a unique sense. Look how open Zoe gets right in the paint. Has a unique sense of how much time it will take to execute a play like that. And the Heat pulled that one off.
With 2 seconds left on the clock still.
Yeah, they got that done in 2.2.
And it ends with a turnover on the Porter steal and near miss from three-point territory. Now the Heat can celebrate their efforts for one half. They'll come out and try to do the same thing in the second half, but a record-setting defensive performance for Miami. They hold the Bulls to 23 first-half points and walk off to the dressing room up 22 at halftime.
Sit down, kid. To make it here at OmniPoint, remember this. With custom-tailored wireless, the customers get what they want. Now repeat after me. They can get any phone.
They can get any phone.
Get any minute plan.
Get any minute plan.
Get free features.
Get free features.
Very good. Here's a cracker.
Get an Ericsson Digital PCS phone for just $49.
Welcome back. To the distinguished list of places known as meccas for the sports fan, we now add La Quinta. Okay, now here's your basic fan. Freeze it right there. Notice how the 25-inch TV is a perfect viewing distance from both the bed and recliner. That's a well-designed play. Plush carpet and high ceilings offer adequate room for victory dances, and you can still option the Nintendo right here. Rooms designed for the sports fan. One more reason I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
Need to get away from it all? Want to visit a theme park? See a basketball game for free? Then enter the Southwest Airlines Vacation Getaway Contest. It's easy. Between March 23rd and April 14th, click on sunshinenetwork.com or send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to this address. This is your chance to spend 4 days and 3 nights in Orlando. Enter today and you could get away. Southwest Airlines, whose fares are so low you have the freedom to fly. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
Heat fans, get off that couch. Why watch that Heat road game at home when you can join me, the Heat Dancers, Bernie, and other Heat fans at the Miami Heat Road Rally. Sponsored by Bacardi Limon, the next 2 road rallies are Friday, April 16th. Heat and the Celtics at the Ugly Tuna in the Las Olas Riverfront in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And Thursday, April the 22nd, Heat and the Magic at the Hooligans Club at Dayland Plaza in Miami. More information, call 305-577-HEAT. See you at the rally. Oh my, what a game!
I got $1 that buys me a tube of toothpaste, and $1 that goes into a 401k. And the 401k guys invest in telecommunications stocks. And so my dollar's out there launching a satellite up in space. So some guy in Tokyo can call his mom in Plattsburgh or something. And the 401k is really growing, which is great. Because when it finally kicks in, I'm going to be buying a whole lot more than toothpaste.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
The Miami Heat on Sunshine brought to you by Toyota. Toyota every day. By Mobile. Mobile Speed Pass. It's free and only at Mobile. Call toll-free 1-877-MY-MOBILE to enroll. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by OmniPoint, offering wireless communications that are 100% digital and 0% hassle. Well, the Miami Heat are thoroughly dominating this game, 45-23. Welcome back to the United Center. It's Baby Derby time here, so you may hear some big crowd noise. I'm not sure if bets have been taken on some of these. I chose number 5, who happens to be taking the early lead. All right, I may have a winner here. Tell you what, the percentage that I have may be doing better than the percentage of the Chicago Bulls. That's the leader. Come on, you can do it. Let's go, son. I might even have $1 on you. Anyhow, 8 points in the Bulls' first quarter, a season low for them. They had 23 points in the second half of a night against the New York Knicks, but they only scored 63 total. Those are season lows. The Heat holding them to 23. That is a low for the Heat against an opponent and a half. So it's been a magnificent defensive performance. The Chicago Bulls started out 1 for 17. Took them nearly 10 minutes, in fact, a little bit more than 10 minutes just to score a point. That's how bad the first quarter was for the Chicago Bulls. And now, wait a minute, how's number, look at this. Can the kid pick or what? Number 5 has got this in a lock. It's all over. It's Secretariat of the Belmont. Number 5 wins. In the meantime, and you know, just like the Indy 500, a little celebratory milk afterwards. Now, let's get to the Heat beat and find out what's going on with your favorite NBA team. Well, this is the 4th year the Heat and the Miami Heat Family Outreach Charitable Fund have offered scholarships to seniors in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. These scholarships include the Jack Ramsey Scholarship, awarded to a candidate who intends to pursue a career in sports journalism, and 3 academic scholarships for students who excel in academics and community service. The deadline for submissions has been extended to Monday, April 26th. For more information, we invite you to call the Miami Heat Community Relations Department at 305-577-HEAT. Additionally, the Miami Heat and Pizza Hut have partnered to continue the NBA's team-up program to encourage youth volunteerism and community service. The Heat is offering schools and organizations the opportunity to receive funding for their own community relations programs. For more information, again, we invite you to call that number right there, 305-577-HEAT. The bottom line information here, the Heat are up by 22 points, 45-23. We'll take you around the NBA when we come back to the United Center in Chicago. That's the only champion you'll see in the building tonight, at least in this town.
If you want a car that's a real value, one that's a whole lot of fun, one that puts a great spin on sporty, then you can't afford not to drive a Ford Escort or ZX2. Buy a '99 Escort or ZX2 and get an incredible $1,500 cash back, or choose low 0.9% financing. With $1,500 cash back, a '99 Escort is under 11 grand. Ford Escort and ZX2 at your South Florida Ford dealer today.
Can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Having one of your best days of the year? We are Sears Days.
Woke up this morning feeling fine. There's something special on my mind.
The best prices of the season on selected items from departments you love.
Oh yeah, something tells me I'm into something good.
Sears Days. Don't miss it.
Do you believe the old way of buying gas is dead? We do. Speed Pass from Mobile. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump. And like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobile, lets you take wing.
What would you do if a stranger talked to you?
I wouldn't talk to them because it might be bad.
Very good. And what would you tell someone playing with matches?
I would tell them not to play with them because they might start a fire.
Wow. How come you know so much?
My mommy told me.
Oh, and what did your mommy tell you about drugs?
Your children are listening. Are you talking?
SunshineNetwork.com is the source for golf. From the fairways to the greens, from the course to the clubhouse. Log on to SunshineNetwork.com for all of the latest information.
Here's a few suggestions for NBA.com. This one's from Mitch.
I want real-time stats of every game and a post-game recap.
This is good. Sam Mitchell says,
I want raw data parsed out to Java-enabled browsers.
Antoine wants online chats.
No, I want online chats.
Typo.
But Penny, NBA.com has all that.
Oh yeah? Does it have the recipe for my mom's meatloaf?
NBA.com. Live stats, video highlights, player chats, and meatloaf.
Off the double team. Price is open for three. No good. Offensive rebound, Harrington. He can't bang it home, but he gets another opportunity. Knocked up in the air. Dickerson for the ball. And a jump ball call with Murdoch.
Jason Williams, who at times is taking over the game, and right now is one of those times.
Bounce pass, drives the baseline, reverse layup, good! I'll bring out the highlight film now. Put his name on the marquee.
The Miami Heat on Sunshine brought to you by Toyota. Toyota every day. By Mobile. Mobile Speed Pass is free and only at Mobile. Call toll-free 1-877-MY-MOBILE to enroll. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by OmniPoint, offering wireless communications that are 100% digital and 0% hassle. Halftime at the United Center. Some of the younger fans enjoying, well, being in an NBA game, but if they're Bulls fans, they're not enjoying this one at all. And that's exactly why. Chicago scoring only 8 points in the first quarter as the Heat have dominated from the opening tap. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont. 12 points for Tim Hardaway and for Jamal Mashburn. 11 points and 5 blocks already for Alonzo Mourning to help the Heat to this 22-point advantage as they seek a 4th consecutive win. What's going on around the rest of the NBA? We got one final in the books already. Sean Kemp, a strong game, 24 points. Cleveland takes care of Atlanta in a low-scoring affair by 14. Golden State and Dallas back and forth in the third quarter with the Warriors up by a point. And how about Indiana? Charlotte with 4 players in double figures, including Bobby Phills, leading them at 21 points. And the Hornets so much better the last, really since that trade with LA, leading at Indiana by a bucket. We'll keep you posted on that score. And there's your West Coast games tonight, including the Clippers, who actually picked up a win this week. Portland, you realize how late in the season we are. The magic number for the Trailblazers to wrap up a playoff spot is 4. That's all they have to do, and they're already going to be in the playoffs. Of course, they have the 27-7 record. Miami just a half away from their 23rd victory. Right around the corner, Eric and Jack will have your first half highlights of the game dominated by the Heat on Sunshine Network.
People of legal drinking age should enjoy alcohol responsibly, but don't drink if you're under 21.
Did you know there's a new technology that's exploding on the PGA Tour? What's your favorite tri-metal?
17 degree.
11 degree. 13 degree.
Did you know with Orlemar's new tri-metal fairway woods, golfers are reaching more par 5s than ever before? What's your favorite tri-metal?
19 degrees.
And did you know with the Tri-Metal's exclusive Carpenter Alpha Mirage face, the longest hitters are even longer? What's your favorite tri-metal?
7.5 driver. It's really long.
Tour pros are already going beyond titanium with Tri-Metal technology. Why not put the same technology in your bag? Call now for more information on the Tri-Metal line of clubs. When you call, we'll rush you a free 1-year subscription to Great Golf Magazine and a free video that includes stroke-saving tips with Ken Venturi. Call now and find out what's your favorite Tri-Metal.
The whole set.
Miss Personality 1971. A little nutty. Wacky, I think is the word. To sell a rotisserie chicken, what would I do? Well, my personal favorite is the lemon pepper. They smell fabulous, yet they're made fresh all day long. I could dance to sell a rotisserie chicken. I could tell a joke. It's not just about the chicken. I have regular customers who come in all the time. I love people, and that's part of the reason I like working here. My personality's always been larger than life. Chicken lady in chicken land. I could sing, although you probably wouldn't want to hear that.
Well, the South loves trucks, that's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South. Ram-a-lemma.
Dodge Rams are overall America's most powerful line of full-size pickups, the longest lasting, and Ram quad cabs were the first to offer 4 doors. Just imagine the possibilities that opens up.
The truck stop of the New South. Ram-a-lemma. The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
You're watching Sunshine Network.
Riley's got to be pleased.
Home of the Miami Heat.
It's the Miami Heat on Sunshine, and it's brought to you tonight by your South Florida Chevy dealers who give you the Bad to the Bone S10 and the award-winning Chevy Malibu. Well, they used to call this place the Madhouse on Madison Street, now just the Sad House on Madison Street. The Heat by 22 at halftime. A terrific half of defense for the Miami Heat, who trying to throw the knockout punch early against Chicago. Hi again, everyone. Eric Reed with Dr. Jack Ramsey. A clinic, to say the least.
Yeah, the Heat came out right from the opening tap, Eric, and put on their usual defensive closure on an opponent. It's hard for them to make a pass. Tony Kukoc, remember in the keys to the game, we said you got to cuff Kukoc, handcuff him. He's had 1 out of 10, and every shot has been under duress.
Yeah.
So Miami doing a terrific job here with its total game. The offense has been pretty good itself.
Using their defense to fuel a potent fast break.
Well, Tim Hardaway's been the guy, as usual, to hit ahead, find open guys, mash on the catch that time, took it into the paint, shot that little jumper. And then Timmy again. This outlet from Alonzo Mourning, the ball from Hardaway's hands to Mashburn down the floor for an easy lay-in. And Mash has been good also, getting good looks and drilling those perimeter shots as well as the fast break scores. And who else but Alonzo Mourning? Taking it, facing up, left-hand drive past Dickie Simpkins, who gives him a matador defensive attempt. And Zoe got all the way to the rim for the two-hand stuffer. And those are your game summaries.
Brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. 23% shooting. 5 of the 7 blocks from Alonzo Mourning, and the 23 points, the best defensive half in Heat history. And look at the symmetry. Michael Jordan's 2 numbers, 45 and 23, the numbers on the scoreboard. Randy Brown, Cornell David, Dickie Simpkins, Tony Kukoc, and Ron Harper starting for the Bulls. Marley, Hardaway, PJ, Zoe, and Mash open the second half for Miami. Heat have never trailed. In this game, they scored the first 15 points, and they haven't looked back since. Dickie Simpkins picking up his 3rd personal foul.
Tim Hardaway put a good back pick on Simpkins, who tried to wrestle Timmy out of the way.
Nash and Hardaway leading the Heat with 12 first half points. Zoe had 11. All of Mash's dozen came in the first quarter, and he's fouled there by Ron Harper on the reach in. Harper picks up his first, second team foul on Chicago. Mash will go to the stripe and shoot twice.
Bulls doing a lot of switching on the Heat rub-off cuts, and it's going to cause them further pain before this game is over. On that last switch, it left Tony Kukoc defending Alonzo Mourning, and that's not a good matchup for the Bulls.
Nash strokes in 2 more free throws. He's 6 of 6 at the line tonight and has 14 to lead Miami.
Nash's game is coming together. He got off to that quick start in his first game.
Kukoc has it rim out. Marley with the rebound. Kukoc is now 1 for 11. And this is the biggest lead of the game for Miami at 24 points. Just getting started here in the second half. Nice pass from Zoe to PJ. 8 to shoot. PJ will. Zoe pursuing the offensive board, but Dickey Simpkins able to take it away. He came into this game in a virtual tie with Indiana for the second best record in the East. The Pacers and Hornets currently tied at 80 in the fourth quarter. We'll watch that score for you as Mash corrals the rebound. Look at Mash go to work. Oh my, what a block by Cornell David. So missing. Marley on the rebound, and Harper took it from him. Cornell David with an impressive block. Randy Brown with an impressive drive, his first field goal of the game. Brown went 0 for 4 in the first half.
Yeah, nice finish for Randy Brown on that driving layup from the left wing.
Couple minutes in, third quarter. Dan Marley, who did not score in the first half.
Going to get Zoe for an offensive foul, trying to get position.
His second foul. And a moment ago, Cornell David sending it back, saying, no soup for you, Mash.
They like Cornell David. They like the fact that he works very hard. They understand he has usual problems that most European players do with NBA defense.
Dickey Simpkins coming inside, losing the basketball. The P.J. Brown, who hits ahead for Timmy. Book it. Tim Hardaway on a line drive for his 14th point. And the Heat again up by 24.
This must be painful for someone like Ron Harper, who played on those championship teams here, and a very proud guy.
Jamal Mashburn call for the blocking foul. That's his fourth. First team foul on the Heat, and Ron Harper in his 13th season out of Miami, Ohio.
He was one of two of the players who played with any consistency with the Bulls last year. He and Randy Brown, who was under contract, and he knew he was going to be here, but he told me, I don't want to be part of any rebuilding process.
Harper is 35 years old, and after all that winning, this has got to be very tough to take. So goes right to work on Simpkins, who fouled him hard, and it's Tony Kukoc that's down in some pain. Simpkins with his fourth foul.
Look at Alonzo Mourning. Turns, faces up, sees the baseline open. Remember how the Bulls used to count on him driving to the middle? Well, Zoe is picking his spots this season and taking down most defenders in his path.
Keith Askins in, Jamal Mashburn to the bench, and fans, if you want to secure your seat to see the Heat play next year in their gorgeous new state-of-the-art American Airlines Arena, you can. The Heat are now accepting deposits for next season. For only $100 a seat, you'll receive a priority number, so you can select your seats and have the chance to purchase tickets for this year's playoffs. They're right around the corner. Each sales managers are standing by right now. Give them a ring at 305-577-4328. So strikes on both free throws. He's got 13 points to go with 6 boards and 5 blocks. And the Heat shooting their fouls well tonight. They're 12 of 14. Leading it by 26. Biggest lead of the game for Miami.
Oh, terrific defensive job on Kukoc. They're just smothering his efforts to score.
8 turnovers for Chicago, only 11 field goals. And Cornell David unable to keep that in play.
Miami retains possession.
If you missed it, Cleveland defeated Atlanta tonight, 81-67, the Hawks' 3rd straight loss. And Atlanta now falls a full game behind Detroit in their race for 4th place in the East.
Ooh, Tim Hardaway.
Basket, Tim Hardaway.
A triple for Timmy, and that's his 2nd 3 tonight. Timmy has 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Brown missing. Wennington missing. Kukoc on the board. And Tim Hardaway all over Cornell Davis picks up that foul. It's the first on Timmy and the second team foul on the Heat.
Let's watch Hardaway. A casual dribble, a pull-up jump shot, bottom of the net.
Tony Kukoc hitting a wing jump shot, just his second field goal in 12 tries. Jack, it's good to see Timmy dialing long distance again tonight. Last 4 games, Hardaway had hit just 2 of 24 from three-point land. Keith missing the corner jumper. PJ on the offensive glass. Brown going up, but a little short. And the Bulls trailing 54-27 have it. Zoe got his hand on the passing lane, and PJ comes up with it.
Big play, Alonzo Mourning. An alert defensive play by Zoe. Left his man to get into the passing lane, knocked that ball loose.
Hardaway wide open, try for 3. A couple. 2 triples in the quarter and a hat trick for the night. The 15th time this year Hardaway's had at least 3 triples in the same game. A 20-point game for Timmy. Who says you can't go home again? Heat by 30, their biggest lead tonight. Kukoc missing again. Tony Kukoc is 2 for 13.
He's done a good job, Eric, forcing him to his right.
And bombs away for Tim Hardaway. A 20-point night for Timmy, a 30-point lead for the Heat.
What stands between you and your goal? Will you give into it? Or fight through it? Will you fear it? Or embrace it? Will you hold back? Or hold nothing back? When you need something extra, when it counts the most, will it be there? Gatorade, is it in you?
You know, we've been together for a while, and I've been thinking. I don't know. I'm missing something from our relationship. I think it's just best if we make a clean break.
Expect more from your credit card. With Discover Platinum, you get a low rate and new double cashback bonus awards. It pays to Discover Platinum.
Check, please. Oh, you'll get this right.
Imagine TV. The 1999 Mercury Cougar. The new breed. Cougar. Exclusively at your Mercury dealer.
The Heat by 30. 30 points, folks. This time remaining in the third period. And now let's take a look at the Heat play of the game, brought to you by Publix. Publix, where you get everything you want in the food line. Look at this non-defense by Ron Harper. Imagine daring Tim Hardaway to shoot a three-pointer. Hardaway for his third 3 of the night. And that was your Publix Heat play of the game.
Tim Hardaway, 20 points in the game, flirting with a triple-double tonight. 6:35 left in the third quarter. Hope you're enjoying this with us, and you should be. Bulls over the last 9 years average 61 wins a season. They have won the championship in 6 of the last 8 years. And while we can't change history, at least in the NBA, we don't have to continue to relive it here in Chicago. Corey Carr into the game for Chicago for the first time tonight.
PJ.
Offensive foul on PJ. That's his 4th. So PJ and Mash each with 4. Pat Riley has to be pleased with the consistency of his team's effort and efficiency tonight. As you could read along by the numbers, PJ goes to the bench. Spoon is back.
Start to finish, Miami came out focused, had their usual game plan work to perfection.
And they've got Corey Carr and Corey Benjamin both in the game, a pair of rookies. Zoe with an easy block. That's his 6th of the game. Sent it like a boomerang back at Randy Brown. Heat by 30. They want more. Off the leg of Spoon. 6 block shots tonight for Alonzo.
Watch Zoe right here. Randy Brown. No.
Not even inches out of the hands of Randy Brown when it came backfiring his way. Brown again. Spoon on the board. Clarence Weatherspoon, 5 rebounds and only 8 minutes of action. Thunder Danny's taken only 3 shots tonight, still looking for his first splashdown. Hardaway will try another 3. That one popping out and winding up with Bill Wennington. 5 minutes and change left in the 3rd quarter, and the Bulls with only 27 points. The Heat have a legitimate shot of holding Chicago to the lowest point total in NBA history, which is 54 points in a game. The Bulls' all-time low is 63. Randy Brown stumbling through was fouled by Keith Askins. That's the 2nd on Keith, and the 3rd team foul here in the quarter on Miami. Of course, if this game continues at this rate, I'm sure Pat Riley will play his reserves through most of the 4th quarter, with tomorrow night's game in the offing against the Bucks, and the Bucks already resting and maybe even watching our game tonight back in South Florida. Now, Heat fans, you can vote for the Toyota Player of the Game tonight online at SunshineNetwork.com. And while doing it, you could win a trip for 2 to New York City to see the Heat and the Knicks play in the regular season finale. That's SunshineNetwork.com, your web source for Florida sports. Randy Brown gets 1 of 2. He's got only 3 points tonight. Heat lead by 29. Cornell David over the top to knock it away from Weatherspoon, the 10th Heat turnover of the game. This is Corey Carr, the undrafted rookie out of Texas Tech. Corey Benjamin, who was a first-round pick in June out of Oregon. An illegal defense against Miami. Mark Davis, the rookie official, signaling the illegal defense for the first time tonight, so only a warning. Win the night for Pat Riley not only moves his Heat into the win column again, would move him within 1 win of Red Auerbach, who stands in 3rd place on that all-time coaches win list. And not a question of if, just a question of when Pat moves past Red. Wennington, book it. Bill Wennington, he can knock down jumpers. He's got 4 points tonight. Wennington's been around a long time. This is his 702nd NBA game.
Randy Brown is the only guy who is giving the Bulls any real chance of scoring. Maybe a good knockaway pass there, too.
Almost had the steal, but he left Timmy open. And Cornell David, you got to give him credit, still playing hard with his team trailing by 27. Wennington fires again. And Tim Hardaway says, I got it. That's his 7th rebound of the night. That equals his season high. So back to Timmy, who draws the foul. Good pitch and catch from Alonzo Mourning to Tim Hardaway. Corey Carr with the foul, his first. And there's a look at your leaderboard for the winningest coaches in NBA history. Pat Riley with a win tonight would go to 937. And the reason you've highlighted that percentage, because it is so outstanding among the winningest coaches in NBA history. The only man Pat will have trouble catching is Lenny Wilkens. That's because Lenny's still coaching and still winning. And the Heat still revving it up here in Chicago and enjoying every moment of it.
Do you believe the old way of buying gas is dead? We do. Speed Pass from Mobil. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump, and like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobil, lets you take wing.
Sit down, kid. To make it here at OmniPoint, remember this. With custom-tailored wireless, the customers get what they want. Get any minute plan.
Get any minute plan.
Get free features.
Get free features.
Very good. Here's a cracker.
Get an Ericsson Digital PCS phone for just $49.
Well, the South loves trucks, it's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South. Ram-a-lemma.
Dodge Rams are overall America's most powerful line of full-size pickups, the longest lasting. And Ram Quad Cabs were the first to offer 4 doors. Just imagine the possibilities that opens up.
The truck stop of the New South. Ram-a-lemma. The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
Miami by 27 points, and note the time left in the third quarter in Chicago with only 30 points on the scoreboard. You know, Tim Hardaway, he's been the heartbeat of the Heat ever since he came to Miami, and one of 3 guards this year averaging better than 18 points and 7 assists. The other 2 are Gary Payton and Stephon Marbury. But another masterful night for Timmy, Jack. 20 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds.
Now, Tim Hardaway loves to come back home and would love to play a huge game here, and for the most part it's happened. Tim Hardaway usually comes up with a focused performance back in Chicago or really anywhere else he plays. He comes to play every night, Eric.
Jack, in his last 4 games, including tonight, Timmy has 28 assists and only 5 turnovers. That's outstanding work.
And the Heat performance reflects that. When Timmy is penetrating, hitting ahead for fast break scores, and if he gets the perimeter shots, that's icing on the cake. But his assists are critical to the success of the Miami Heat.
I'd like to see the Heat hitting their free throws with regularity. That'll help come playoff time and down the stretch. Corey Carr with the air ball. The Heat have made 14 of 16 at the stripe tonight.
Oh my.
Hardaway using that crossover. Marley for 3 off the mark and out of bounds. So you were talking to Tim Floyd, the Bulls coach, earlier tonight. Floyd, between 1977 and 1986, was the assistant coach at Texas El Paso for Don Haskins. Overlapped Tim Hardaway's career at UTEP for 2 years and admitted that he did not heavily recruit Tim Hardaway. It was the other assistant coach on that staff that lobbied hard to both Floyd and Don Haskins to bring Hardaway to UTEP. And that's where Hardaway made that crossover dribble famous, the UTEP two-step, what it was called back then. Timmy takes a well-deserved break with 22 points.
But he did not impress Coach Haskins early on, Eric. I talked to Don Haskins about Timmy, and he said, we brought him out. He said, I had one assistant who really wanted Tim Hardaway, and we brought him out and had to work out. And Tim Hardaway, in about 45 minutes of scrimmaging, did not make a shot. And in his first year at UTEP, he did nothing to change anyone's opinion. But between year 1 and year 2, he went to the gym and became a shooter.
And the rest, as they say, history. Corey Benjamin a moment ago picked up a clear path to the basket foul. That's why Zoe's at the stripe.
Zoe coming up with a nice steal on the ball handler. A smaller player. Zoe surprises you with his overall foot speed and quickness. That's how he beats his opponents down the floor so consistently and gets great position in the paint.
Warning has a couple of steals tonight. He also has 14 points, 6 boards, and 6 blocks, and he's made 6 of his 8 foul shots. Heat by 31, gang. 61-30. Cornell David fouled by Zoe. This is the Heat's biggest lead of the night.
The Heat personal foul on Alonzo Mourning.
Zoe picks up his 3rd foul.
Doing a nice job here, and I can see why the coaching staff likes this guy. He has a good basic game, and they tell me he works very hard on the practice floor.
Well, the Heat next 2 road rallies are set. April 16th at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. April 22nd at Hooligans Pub in the Dadeland Plaza. Call 305-577-HEAT For details on these and other Heat, Bacardi Limon official road rallies.
Bulls in the trap now. Heat usually handles traps really well. Oh, look at this pass work.
Watch that ball move. Cornell David with a rebound. Cornell David 7 points tonight and 5 rebounds. And here he is on the other end. And that time he stepped out of bounds.
See Alonzo Mourning coming from the weak side to shut that play off. Bulls go back to that trapping defense. Watch the Heat. They'll take it up the sideline, advance it forward. Oh, right in the middle. Excellent play.
Heat shooting 40% tonight, twice as good as Chicago. So hits the reverse plus the foul.
Good game plan for Alonzo Mourning. Take it at Bill Wennington. Bill Wennington, a good spot-up shooter, but slow-footed at the defensive end. Let's take a look at our Lincoln Mercury drive to the basket in gear. Alonzo right to the garage. Park it, Zone.
Miami again by 31 with 1:32 left in the third quarter. Yes, you're reading that scoreboard correctly. The Bulls with only 32 points. Terry Porter knocking Corey Carr to the ground, and Corey Carr called for the foul.
I think just out of bounds, Eric.
Okay, good enough.
But that's a tough one. Watch this. Contact made there. And I'm not sure he went out of bounds. Oh, well, when you're losing, those kinds of things happen to you.
Charlotte leading Indiana, fourth quarter, 91-90, folks. Minute left, third quarter here in Chicago. Wide open shot for Blue Edwards, who buries a long two. Blue just into the game, gets into the scorebook quickly. And the Heat by 33. Biggest lead of the game. Wennington, no, sir. Zoe with his 7th block shot. Bill Wennington should have known better. So, book it. Alonzo Mourning with the field goal. He'll probably watch the fourth quarter from the bench, but he has 19 points, 7 blocks, 6 rebounds. Nice move by Corey Benjamin, the rookie, but it popped out. Heat by 35. And the turnover on Miami.
Bill Wennington? Nah, not a chance. Bill Wennington.
Alonzo Mourning comes out, finishes up 6 of 9 from the field. Night of work well done. He can probably relax with Tim Hardaway and the other Heat starters on that bench and watch the rest of this game. Don't forget the Heat and the Bucks tomorrow night at the Heat's house. Tip off at 8, pregame 7:30 here on Sunshine. Heat beat the Bucks 17 nights ago by 8. Now, if you're wondering what the all-time NBA record low in the regular season is for points scored in a game, 55 by Indiana. The Bulls right now have only 32 points with 4 seconds left in this third quarter. They scored 8 points in the first, 15 in the second. And that points give them 10 points in this quarter. 9 seconds left in that game in Indiana. Randy Brown got 1 out of 2. Benjamin, no. A near miss to end the third quarter. You believe this? The Bulls with only 33 points through 3 quarters and a 34-point lead as the Heat coast to the fourth.
1999 Lexus ES300 with the new, more powerful VVTi V6 engine. Luxury and value are right at home in the fast lane. Test drive an ES300 today at your South Florida Lexus dealer.
We play your game on Sunshine Network.
Showtime.
Nobody brings teens the excitement of the NBA like TV's Inside Stuff.
We gotta check that out, man.
Now NBA Inside Stuff magazine brings teens exclusive behind-the-scenes stories and original photos not available anywhere else. Call 1-800-NBA-STUFF or log on to NBA.com to order NBA Inside Stuff magazine. Follow all your favorite players with Inside Stuff, the NBA's official teen magazine.
New Inside Stuff.
So call this toll-free number and say, I want the Inside Stuff.
The only way he can do any good is if he remembers just how bad he can be.
You want to know who I am? I want to know who I am. I need to find out what he knows. You know about my past? What do you want? I want my life back.
Jackie Chan.
You'll never know who you are.
This month on DirecTV.
We invite you to join us tomorrow night when Ray Allen and the Milwaukee Bucks make their only appearance at Miami Arena this year. Our pregame show begins at 7:30, followed by game time at 8. The Heat beat the Bucks 3 weeks ago, 84-76. And they'll try to do it again tomorrow night against the rookie Tractor Trailer and Company. Took a late spurt for the Heat to get it done at the Bradley Center, but they did. And if you're wondering how the Heat will perform on back-to-back nights, they are 9-1 this year on the second night of a back-to-back. Jack, it's almost surreal when you look at the scoring by quarters. 8, 15, and 10. For the punchless Bulls through 3 quarters, only 33 points. They will have to score 22 points in this quarter to simply tie the all-time lowest output in NBA history.
Yeah, that's in the shot clock era, Eric. But still a very significant stat. And credit, of course, not a good scoring Bulls team, but superb Miami defense in this one. Nice play, Blue Edwards.
Blue Edwards getting another field goal. That gives him 4 points on the night. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Dickie Simpkins goes to work. Heat starting off with Causewell, Spoon, Edwards, Porter, and Askins. And now Mark Strickland peels off the warm-up. That last foul was on Dwayne Causewell. Well, just what Pat Riley could have hoped for. A lopsided game and a chance to play all his reserves in the final quarter. Benjamin's miss. By the way, the Bulls are shooting 22% through 3 quarters. And to update that, it's 21% at the moment on 13 of 61.
And that pursuit of the loose ball sent Tim Hardaway and Dan Marley scurrying for cover. They didn't want a couple of players piling into them on the bench.
Bulls going with Corey Benjamin, Kukoc, David, Simpkins, and Charles Jones. 11 minutes left. Blue for 3. And Kukoc with a loose ball foul. Boy, Tony Kukoc has had a forgettable night. 4 points. That's his first foul. 2 for 13 shooting. This is what Dr. Jack was talking about a moment ago. Watch this.
Yes, this is funny. Watch as the players pursue the ball. Tim Hardaway, who doesn't want anybody banging that sore knee of his, got out of the way in a hurry.
Heat lead by 36. And Mark Strickland let it get away. Blue Edwards stole it right back. To the Pogo man for 2.
Nice play, Blue Edwards. Good pass off the dribble.
I don't believe we've been doing Heat games for 11 years. We've never seen a score this lopsided, either for or against. Actually, one time against. Kukoc with a hook. Remember that long night in Cleveland many years ago. 71-35 Miami. Leading by 36. Causewell underneath. Put it in with a hook.
Again, Blue Edwards making a nice scoring play. Short penetration, good bounce pass to the cause.
Kukoc cut off by Askins everywhere he went.
It's an official timeout.
Now timeout here at the United Center. Foul on Askins. The lead, mucho big.
Detroit was last night.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines coast to coast for $99 or less when you purchase tickets by April 27th.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's been 1 full month since La Quinta superstar Sarah Hyland pulled a hammy chasing down a customer who'd forgotten his credit card. Let's check in on her rehab.
What can I say? Sarah's a warrior. She's here at the hotel pushing it every day. Laps in the pool, stationary bike, you know, some cardio work, followed by some hot and cold therapy. Tough kid, a lot of heart.
Dedicated employees and great facilities. 2 more reasons I'll be seeing you at La Quinta.
When you put your arms around me, I feel so satisfied. I want to love you forever. Every time I turn around, back in love again. Right back in love again. Seems like I'm back in love again. Right back in love again.
Fourth quarter. There's your actual score. Our graphic department is not out at some bars someplace. That is the real deal with 9:48 to go in the Heat enjoying net advantage here at the United Center. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont. Other scores that matter. The Cleveland Cavaliers, a future Heat opponent, very soon, as a matter of fact, dusted off the Atlanta Hawks 81-67. And here's the score we've been waiting for. Charlotte does their job. They win their 3rd in a row. They bump the Pacers down to the 3rd best record now overall in the Eastern Conference. They are percentage points behind what we're going to go ahead and give the Heat. We'll project the Heat as the winner for this game. Indiana has now lost 2 in a row. They dropped to 24-13. The Heat are just 9-48 away from 23-11. But the team that everybody is chasing, here you see Orlando. They're totally off this weekend, so Miami can pick up a full game, finish off tonight's game, and win tomorrow against Milwaukee. Guys?
Thanks, Dave. We are always uncomfortable with early projections, but this is no Dewey defeats Truman. Trust us. 9:39 left in the game. The Heat leading it 73-37, and the starters tucked away on that Heat bench right now, resting, enjoying, and viewing right along with. Oh, Coswell with the putback stuff of the Blue Edwards miss. Second field goal for Dwayne Coswell. And Jack, you bet these reserves are proud, hardworking players. They don't want to give an inch on this lead. Coswell on the block, and they want to be a part of holding the Bulls to a record-setting low performance. And with Indiana's loss tonight, this is a golden opportunity for the Heat to move into 2nd place in the East. Cos with another flush.
I'll tell you, Blue Edwards has made some dynamite plays in the short time he's been on the floor.
Blue Edwards with 4 points, 3 assists, couple of rebounds in only 5 minutes. Kukoc nails a bucket. Tony Kukoc 4 for 15. The Bulls shooting only 23%.
First time Kukoc has been open off a screen.
Offensive foul on Cos.
Offensive foul, Miami. Dwayne Coswell is 2nd.
Let's watch Cos as Blue Edwards makes that penetration effort. And then watch this pass. Edwards rifles it to Cos for a 2-hand stuffer.
Cornell David on the launch pad. Rex Walters brings it down. Rim down for Strickland.
Oh, two excellent passes, though. One from Rex Walters.
8 minutes left. Sent Simpkins leaning in. And the foul is on Causwell. You know, 10 different Heat players have scored in this game. One of them that did not was Heat starter Dan Marley, who was 0 for 4 from the field. But we always try to bring this out. You don't have to score to help your team win. The night, Thunder Dan with a season-high 10 rebounds.
Well, Marley does so much more, Eric, too. He's such a good defender and moves the ball well. Good entry passer. Will get you on an average 3 assists a game. Almost 4 rebounds a game. Thunder Dan gets his contribution, and Coach Riley, while the shooting would be a little bonus, he still likes to have Marley out there even if he's not making those perimeter shots.
Well, he'd have a 13 rebound advantage tonight. Dan Marley been a big part of Miami's improved rebounding recently, almost 8 a game over his last 8. Deflection by Blue Edwards. And in the backcourt, Corey Benjamin reaching in to pick up the foul. Corey Benjamin spent just 2 years at Oregon before the Bulls selected him with the 28th pick in June's draft. Averaged 20 points a game as a sophomore at Oregon last year. 7:35 remaining. And it's the Heat 77, the Bulls 39. Edwards on the drive, got the field goal and the foul, and this has been a feast for Blue here in the fourth quarter.
Boy, going like a bolt out of the Blue. Edwards on this penetration drive gets the bump, the short floater. Once again, Edwards driving left, throws up that little runner, nothing but net.
Dickie Simpkins coming away with the Chicago rebound. That's Dickie's 8th rebound tonight. Through the hands of Kukoc. You know, the Bulls, he's their centerpiece now, but there is some concern that when his contract expires after next season that he may return to Europe.
Talking with Jerry Krause about that subject before the game, he said no chance. Tony is going to be with us. His wife doesn't even like to go back to Yugoslavia to visit. So we'll see how that plays out.
Jerry Krause, the controversial general manager here of the Bulls. Causwell. And the rebound down to Keith Booth, a rookie from Maryland. The Heat lead by 40, folks. 79-39.
Haskins really working hard on Kukoc. This shot's going up.
Charles Jones from three-point land. And Blue Edwards up the ladder for his 3rd rebound. Good deflection by Keith Booth. It's Miami's 15th turnover. Make it 16. Kukoc. Not there. Here comes Rex Walters. Just over 6 minutes to play on what has been an unbelievably long night for Chicago. Right from the opening tip, the Heat were poised, focused, and terrific. They were possessed tonight. Miami scored the first 15 points, went on a 19-1 run to open the game. Chicago missed their first 13 shots. Simpkins was blocked by the rim, but then the Heat traveled. Now this sort of typifies the night for Chicago. Dickie Simpkins got his shot blocked by the rim.
Imagine TV. The 1999 Mercury Cougar. The new breed. Cougar. Exclusively at your Mercury dealer.
I think we both know why we're here. There comes a time in every career when you just gotta hang 'em up. You're not pulling your weight anymore. Look at you. I mean, look at you. I gotta cut you.
Expect more from your credit card. With Discover Platinum, you get a low rate and new double cashback bonus awards. It pays to Discover Platinum.
Get out of here.
gas is dead? We do. Speed Pass from Mobil. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump. And like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobil, lets you take wing.
The Heat lead the Chicago Bulls by 40 big ones with just under 6 minutes left in the game. Let's show you your Mobil Speed Pass of the game, brought to you, of course, by our friends at Mobil.
That's a bullet that Blue Edwards threw to Dwayne Coswell right at the rim. Two-hand over-the-head pass. A bolt out of the blue.
Now you see the Heat bench, which is filled with starters, Jack. They really want the guys on the floor now to hold the fort and hold the Bulls to an NBA record low. This would be a tremendous accomplishment for a Heat team that prides itself on defense. Wennington drills the jumper. Bill has 6. The Bulls have finally pierced the 40-point mark with 5:35 left in the contest. Askins missing the jump shot. Yes. 5:23 left. The Heat will get it back. Miami's defense, second best in scoring, second best in field goal percentage allowed, and they should move ahead of both the Hawks and Knicks in those respective categories. And when they play tomorrow night against Milwaukee, you will be looking at the premier defensive team in statistics and every other way in the NBA this year. Pat Riley's Heat. Coswell's hook, batted around, taken by Wennington. Under 5 minutes left. 79-41. The Bulls are shooting 23%. Remember, just a few nights ago, the Heat held Toronto under 30%. Booth missed the dunk, but Cornell David there for the putback. So Cornell David now has 9 points and 7 rebounds.
Keith Askins is hurting.
He wants a timeout.
Timeout, Miami Heat.
And the Heat will use it's a 20-second timeout for Miami. Now the Chicago Bulls, the dismantling of their dynasty. Maybe it had another year or two at most, but the retirement of Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson's decision not to come back, and all the other players being let go. And this is what Jerry Krause is thinking about. 5 #1 picks in the next 3 years. Jack, they get the Spurs #1 pick either this year or next. That'll be Chicago's choice. They will get the Suns #1 pick either this year or 2 years from now, but that's Phoenix choice. And the $20 million under the cap, just how and who they'll spend it on. The questions that Jerry Krause ponders. Tell us about your conversation with him earlier tonight.
Well, Eric, Jerry Krause is an upbeat guy. I would preface any remarks with that. He thinks miracles can happen, but I think it's going to be a long time. He does have a couple of players in Europe that he's very high on. One is 7'3" center who is playing in Spain right now, and Jerry's going to leave him there for maybe 2 more years before he thinks he may be ready for NBA play. But very tough to come back in the NBA now. And draft choice and free agent opportunities notwithstanding, I think it's 4 or 5 years before the Bulls will be competitive again.
And Jack, the reality is, for all the people that watch Chicago in this town and everywhere on the planet, you will never see that duplicated. A team that had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. They were great defensively. They won 6 championships over the last 8 years. And over the last 9 years, averaged 61 wins. It's going to be awfully hard to ever duplicate what the Bulls have already accomplished.
I agree thoroughly, Eric. There's only one Michael Jordan now and forever.
And no sympathy around the NBA for the folks here in Chicago. You know what they say about paybacks. Mashburn back in the game for Keith Askins, who went off to the Heat bench. 3.5 minutes to go in this game. The Heat leading at 79-43. Strickland went down hard after the miss. This is Booth. And Booth draws the foul. And that foul is on Blue Edwards. Again, the Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night. Note the start time, 8 o'clock. For those of you coming to the game, 8 o'clock at Miami Arena for the Heat and Bucks. If you're going to kick back and watch it here on Sunshine, the pregame at 7:30. And Jack, you are heading for Salt Lake. Do the Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz. Ed Pinckney will sub in ably tomorrow night.
I'm sure Ed will do a superb job, Eric. And I'm sure, equally sure, that George Karl has been an interested observer of this game.
Here's Ed Pinckney working the game on radio tonight, 610 WIOD, alongside his partner, the radio voice of the Miami Heat, Mike Inglis, who is very unhappy with the press room accommodations tonight. Those guys were not happy with the meal. They turned back their hamburgers.
Good pass, Blue Edwards. Shot clock.
Strickland, oh, he missed the dunk. Now, Joe Vancius, he's our producer in the truck. He thought that was a wild comment I made. But, Joe, don't worry. Mike Inglis already told all of his radio listeners on WIOD the exact same story, and I'm sure he went into far greater detail. Our game tonight produced, as always, by Joe Vancius, our director, Jim Dussel, Mark Brody and Bob Hewitt, also doing the big-time blue-collar work in the Sunshine Network truck. Always great to work with the Sunshine crew and our television warriors.
Even the hamburger meat is tough here. The Bulls can't get it done this season.
Under 3 minutes left. 80-44. Miami on top. You know, earlier this year, the Bulls lost to Orlando by 47 points. 115-68. And this just as humiliating. Wennington using the glass. David on the tip. Got fouled on his second try.
David stays right in the basket area, Eric. Quick jumper, gets both hands on the ball.
Nextel digital phones have built-in two-way radios.
Heads up.
They come in handy.
Nextel's MVP rate plan, starting as low as $70.
It is not whether you fall down. It is whether you get back up.
It is not the size of the dog in the fight. It is the size of the fight in the dog.
It's not how hard you push along the way. It's having something in you to finish.
What's red and green and can go 100 miles an hour? Toyota Corolla. With more standard horsepower than the competition, you could punch it right up to 100 miles an hour. Although we don't recommend it. Toyota Corolla. The value is real. Right now, get a real value on Corolla up to $500 in option package savings.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick, powerful protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear. Right Guard. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Tim Hardaway and the Heat enjoying the return to Chicago, leading by 36, 2:39 left. And your Southeast Toyota Tacoma player of the game is the man who returns to his hometown of Chicago. Tim Hardaway out of Carver High School in Chi-Town. Only one turnover, along with the 22 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists. Timmy set the tempo right from the opening bell tonight, Jack.
And a little more than half the game played for Tim Hardaway. Just an all-round solid performance from the guy who is at the throttle of the Heat engine.
Cornell David with 11 points and 10 rebounds tonight. Just one rebound away from equaling his season high. Walters for three, rims out. Keep in mind the Bulls need 9 points to equal the lowest scoring output in NBA history. 10 points in the last 2:15 to save themselves from that humiliation. And the Heat grab the rebound. It's Mark Strickland and a pack of players. 2 minutes to go. Now from man 1 through 12 for Miami and the coaching staff and the training staff. You hope it happens for a Heat team that works it, walks it, and talks it on the defensive end every single day. Strickland's miss, pulled down by Coswell, but the loose ball foul on Dwayne. Heat are only shooting 41% in the game, but Chicago shooting 23%. This will be a record-setting defensive performance for Miami, one way or the other in points allowed and also field goal percentage allowed, the best the Heat have ever done in their 11-year franchise history.
They came out very focused, and we've already alluded to the fact that the Bulls are the lowest scoring team in the league and second lowest in field goal percentage. So this is not an offensive juggernaut by any means, but the Heat took the Bulls right out of the game, did a superb job on Tony Kukoc. When you take the lead man out of the game, you take a lot of the team's heart out with it.
Even though the Bulls are the lowest scoring team, they do average 83 points a game and only 47 lonely points on the board for them tonight. Coswell and Wennington fumble it. The Bulls will get it back. Let's go to Dave Lamont, who has an update on what happened to Keith Askins.
Eric, apparently he aggravated a blister on his right foot. That foot is being iced down right now. It doesn't sound serious. Let's hope that this injury won't keep him from playing tomorrow night. Doesn't sound like the type of thing that would keep a guy like Keith, as durable as he is, off the Heat floor tomorrow night when Miami hosts Milwaukee.
Good hustle, Dave. Always good to find out what's going on in terms of injured players, and even better when it's not a serious injury. Mark Strickland rubbing out the shot by Cornell David, who greets Strick with a smile, says nice block.
David, hard driver. Strick knocks that off his shooting hand before he could get the shot off.
He'd have 11 blocks tonight and 11 steals. And it looks like the Bulls are going to have a record low, NBA record low in points scored in a game. Mash from the top. Oh, how the mighty have fallen hard. 80-47 Miami.
Eric, it just points out how important players are. Remember Jerry Krause's statement, players don't win championships, management does? Management isn't doing a lot right now for the Chicago Bulls.
Jack, I think that comment, I mean, you could weigh it in a lot of different ways, but could you imagine a coach ever saying players don't win championship, coaches do? I mean, it's something a coach would never, ever say.
It was a very ill-timed comment by Krause. Not that there would ever be a good time for that statement.
Well, I think the personalities and the egos involved, there was obviously a clash, and these have to be very difficult times. But Jerry Krause has a hard shell to pierce. He says, I don't think I'm that unpopular. Things will be fine. You're right. He always sees the glass as half full, even when it's near empty like tonight.
Well, Eric, you do have to have management. I mean, management has to do its job. Of course. Their job is to acquire the players that you need to have a competitive team.
And don't discredit the job Jerry Krause has done. Obviously, we're not. He had built a team that won 6 championships in 8 years, but take away one guy, and it would have never happened, folks. And that one guy wasn't Jerry Krause, wasn't Phil Jackson, wasn't even Scottie Pippen. It was Michael Jordan.
A good comparison is, what are those players doing who are with the Bulls on those championship years? Scottie Pippen struggling at Houston. Dennis Rodman, a sometimes performer for the Lakers. And Steve Kerr finding it hard to get into the lineup. with San Antonio.
Well, folks, if you were with us start to finish, you saw the Bulls open the night missing their first 13 shots, and it ends up as the best defensive performance in NBA history. The Bulls setting a new record for offensive futility. They score only 49 points. They shoot only 23%. The best the Heat have ever done in a game in field goal percentage allowed and points allowed, and the lowest point total all time in the NBA. And you saw every drop of it here on Sunshine Network. Hope you enjoyed it. A monster performance for the Heat. They win their 4th in a row and their 23rd on the year.